Hello, and thank you so much for watching another edition of my daily creativity. My name is Charlotte Burns, and every day during the month of May, I am coming live on Facebook to share with you some scrapbooking things that I'm doing. Me trying to be creative. I don't know that I've quite got there yet, but I'm getting there. Anyway, May is National Scrapbooking Month, and that's why I'm doing scrapbooking more than card making. There are a few ideas in here for card makers as well on some days. Maybe not so much today, but you might pick something up or you might get inspired to do some scrapbooking of your own. Today, what I want to talk to you about again is how do you fit lots and lots of photos onto a double page spread? Now, I've been going through my old albums, ripping the photos out because the old albums that I'm talking about are these horrible old magnetic ones. So yesterday and the day before, I spent quite a bit of time ripping out my photos and bits and pieces out of these things. I managed to get through a whole album, finished this morning at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to show you first of all what I do with my albums, or what I do with those photos. So I had adopted for one album a method I saw used by Laura Beecham. Now, if you haven't seen any of Laura Beecham's videos and posts yet, please go and check her out. She's an amazing, phenomenal, very creative, close to my heart maker. And she puts her photos into Ziploc bags, similar, I guess, to putting them into a photo box, but I had started putting them into an album. Now, I tried her method and, it didn't work for me. So I've gone back to my method. Just do what works for you. So this is my method. And if you ever need a hand with this sort of thing, just maybe getting on top of the overwhelm, please contact me. I would love to help you out because I know the outlay for the setup that I've got could be quite overwhelming in itself. So I have purchased recently several albums, plus I unearthed some albums I had stored away. And I start with pulling my photos out in the group that they're in, and then I have a couple of white cardstock pieces. So this is a D-ring album, and I have a couple of pieces of white cardstock, and I say, okay, so those photos all go together, and this is how I'm going to lay them out on my pages, which is really great when it comes to different photos on different days. For instance, these 2 days, do I want to spread them over these three over 2 pages or not? Now, I have a lot of photos, so I was really trying to compress them all onto as few pages as possible. For instance, these 3 photos here, these 2 are from 2 different days. I can tell because she's wearing, this is my daughter Josephine. Josephine is wearing different clothes. So that's how I could tell it was a different day. This is on the same day as this particular photo here. But I didn't want to fit that photo on this because these tell a story. So I've just kind of clumped them together. And then when I go to scrapbooking them, putting all the pretties in, stories and all of that, then I can separate them differently. But I try and have them laid out how I want to actually stick them down. And then, as I've shown, I use the close to my heart tape runner to stick them down. Now, this is great because it won't permanently adhere. I mean, it's tacky enough to keep them in place, but it won't wreck your paper when you pull it off. Sometimes what I found was I had too many photos, not enough to go onto another double page spread, but too many photos for what I wanted. So for instance, on this page, I decided I was going to use a flip flap, and the way the story went, I just needed an extra flip flap. And so I've just put the photos I wanted in there, and I've put the flip flap inside the page because, again, I don't know if I'm going to be actually adhering that to this particular page or not, and I might change my mind as well. So I like the way I've laid out. You can't quite see them because of the with your D-ring albums, you do have a space between the 2 pages, so keep that in mind. With the post-bound album, there's not that space, so I'll show a post-bound album a different day. So the other really important thing is I've also just put sticky notes in to tell the story. So if I never get around to creating these albums and my kids or my husband or someone wants to have a look through, they can always come and they can look through, which is really, really great. So this is what I've been doing, flicking through, pulling out photos, and doing lots of reminiscing, actually, to be honest. And how gorgeous is this little girl? She's no longer little anymore. It was just lots and lots of fun seeing old faces and photos and everything. And then also trying to work out, you know, how to best cover up things that perhaps people don't want to see. Which brings me to this page here. So I have some nudie-rooty photos that are on here. Now, remember I was talking about flip flaps a while ago and how you can leave your flip flaps under your pages or you can bring them out to the top of your pages. This particular page here, I have a couple of photos underneath, which are nudie-rooty photos, which I don't want anyone to just be able to walk through the album, flip down and have a look at. So I plan on putting this one on the front, and then underneath I will put the nudie-rooty photos. I'll leave them inside the pocket sleeve so that if my daughter wants to have a look, or if someone's really desperate to look, they can pull the page out, they can flip it down, have a look. But what I did was, rather than using a 4x6 flip flap, which would only cover the photo, I've actually decided I'm going to try and put this into a 5x7. So it's larger than the 4x6. It gives me a little bit more room to give a design on the outside, and I might even work on this and then show you once it's finished. But a little bit more room on the outside to design this page a bit better. So talking about this, what I wanted to do today was not only show you how you can fit, how I fit 240, I think it was 247 photos on a page, but also let you know the different sizes of flip flaps that you can get through Close to My Heart. So they start as small as a 2" by 2". You can use these for photos, and I have done 2" by 2" photos, so you can use them. And I've actually got a ton of 2x2 photos that I'm going to do a massive page. So that's one way you can fit lots and lots of photos on a page, is using a very small photo and lots of flip flaps. That is something I will be doing. The next size is a 3x3. Now with a 3x3, I'm going to show you that in a minute on my page under the album. What I did was I cut a 3" by 4" photo down, and then I put it in a 3x3 flip flap. Then you've got your 3x4, which is a standard photo, so 6x4 cut in half, so 3x4. A 4x4, which is a 6x4, and you just trim off 2 inches off part of it, so that you've got 4 inches by 4 inches. Then you've got your standard 4x6 flip flap. Now, one thing I will note just here is with the rectangle flip flaps, you get two different sorts. So you get one with the adhesive on the, I don't know if you can see that, on the long side, or half the pack is adhesive on the long side and half the pack is adhesive on the short side, which is great because it means that you can figure out which way you want to flip your flap. Hopefully nobody took that the wrong way. If you did, just laugh it off. Just laugh it off. All right, so that's your 6x4 flip flap. Then we go up to 6x6, which again is great for this sort of thing. If you want to hide something underneath, or you want to put more decorations on, maybe put a 4x4 photo on that. Or if you do print out a 6x6 photo, I was uploading some photos to Harvey Norman last night, and yes, I know I'm getting more photos printed, and they do have a 6x6 size, so you might want to do that. There's also 5x7, the 6x12, which I've shown a couple of times now, so 6x12, and there is also an 8x12. So there's lots of different options for flip flaps and different things that you can do. Let me move on to my piece de resistance, and how I fit so many photos onto a page. So I'll shut this over, and good morning to everyone who is watching live. Hello Linda, good morning. Why has my voice gone weird? I'm not sure. Is it still weird? Maybe I'm just having a weird day. Don't know, let me know. All right, so this is my page where I fit 200 odd photos on one page. Notice something. What I've done is these, so I've got 1, 2, so there's a 3x3 flip flap, 3, 4, 5, I've only got 5 flip flaps on there. But what these are is on my phone, I can take photos in lots of different aspect ratios. So these are all photos that were taken in a 1:1 aspect ratio. So it's a square photo. You can always, once you've got your photo, you can trim it down. There are lots of different photo software things, programs, apps. That's the word I'm looking for. There are lots of apps that you can use to trim your photos down. And then what I did, and here's the secret, I actually brought them all up on my computer screen and I took a screenshot of all of these photos. Now, the reason I did that might seem a bit strange and you might be looking at this going, what is it? Okay, let me bring it up. These are actually photos of stamp sets. And I haven't actually printed all of the stamp sets that I had, but if you look at the photos, I'll bring up this one actually. And there will be, I've left some room here for some journaling to explain what the heck this is. I was taking a photo of every single stamp set that I had because I used to own quite a few stamp sets. I did markets and all sorts of things, markets, shows, and I ended up doing online sales. So those of you who've been watching me for a while, you would know these stamp sets. And my very good friend Leanne came over and helped me take a photo of every single one of them. And as we were taking photos, sometimes the photo was blurry or her hand didn't quite get out of the way. I think that was the first one. I said, your hand wasn't out of the way. So she actually put her hand on top of the photo, on top of the stamp, and I took a photo of that. And then we took a photo of the actual stamp. So again, I've caught her hand. I had to take that photo again. And I wanted to capture only on 2 pages. I didn't want it to spread out over more than 2 pages. I wanted to capture, first of all, how many stamps I had. And second of all, the fun I had in doing this exercise with Leanne. The funny thing is I never did anything with these photos. And rather than just delete them, I mean, we spent quite a while taking photos of these. Rather than just delete them, I really did want to do something with these photos. So I created a double page spread. It took me a while to work out how I wanted them all laid out. I'm really happy with how it is. I must say, I love this tape. I wasn't using it when I was putting this page together. This tape, if you do happen to stick your photo down in the wrong spot, it's really easy to lift it. I didn't do that. And in spacing these out, I had to lift them twice. But I got the page, it is finished. I haven't got any decorations on it because that's how I'm rolling at the moment. I'm not in a creative space where I can do decorations. I'm in a space where I just want to get photos onto pages and hopefully get the journaling done as well. So that is another option for getting lots and lots of photos onto pages. And as I was doing this, I thought, well, who's going to have 50 billion stamps they want to take photos of? Probably not, nobody. But maybe you've got some photos of flowers. That would work really well. Or, I don't know, let me know in the comments. Have you got a multitude of photos that you'd really like to put onto either 1 or 2 pages that you don't know how to do it? And maybe this method would work for you. Use some flip flaps, but also try taking screenshots as well. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Cre8ivity. What a fabulous idea, putting photos on layouts to create at a later time. Yes, I am really enjoying it. There's no creativity going on at the moment except for just getting those photos into albums. And Leanne actually said to me that I needed to pat myself on the back because if something happened to me today and I could never finish decorating the pages, at least the photos are in the albums and they're more likely to be looked through. And that is so true, because when I was looking through to find the page that I did yesterday, which is in this album, when I was looking through all my photos, it was so easy just to flick through my album and find the page that had one photo on it. Now I won't be able to find it, will I? And some of the photos, it's so nice. That's it there. So nice going through and just having a look at photos like that. So that's the page I did yesterday. If you didn't see the process video for creating that page, feel free to have a look at yesterday's little video. All right, thanks so much for watching, ladies. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm off again to do a run around and visit some people. I hope you get some time to yourself today. Maybe do some creating, crafting, scrapbooking, whatever shape that takes. But as always, stay safe, keep crafting, and bye for now.